Hey ladies, it's Deanna Owens here for SoNatural1.com, also SoNatural1 here on YouTube, and of course SoNatural1 on Instagram. This is a quick video by request of one of the people on Instagram. They were like, can you show a video of a U-part wig? Alright, so this is what we're going to do. You're going to cut to Fabulous as Me, Sasha Doll, or Thomas Adriana on YouTube, and they do fabulous U-part wigs, right? But the one thing I'm always missing is how the heck do they get those things to stay? How do they get the wig to actually, like, function? How do they get it to put around their head? How do they, yeah, they're showing me how to do it, but, like, what's that one thing that makes it so that the U-part is actually a U-part and it's not just a piece of crap, like this piece right here? All right, so we're going to pretend something. This was originally, like, a lace part or a lace wig full head closure thing, but I had to take the closure off because my cousin needed it. All right, so pretend that this is completely closed. These things are no longer here. They're never been cut. All right, pretend that this is most important. Before you cut your U-part wig, you need to sew the tracks in going from left to right. All right, this is a good place to stop. Okay, you stop doing the left to right when you get very close to the top. All right, some people like to draw, but I like for the middle part of the mannequin head to serve as my reference for when I really need to make sure that I'm not putting tracks in too close. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to stop right here. Remember, stop. Then you're going to start laying tracks straight like that. So you lay a track this way, this way, this way. Stop. The other side. Go from here. And yeah, these are going to be short tracks. So that way you don't want to mess with the design. You don't want to do any more of this left to right stuff. You want to do straight up and down. Straight up and down. And this right here, same exact thing. Make sure you go straight up and down. All right? Because we don't want this part to be bulky. If you leave this the way that it is, you'll be just fine. Even if you wanted to, you could lay one more track from left to right if you wanted to. But I chose not to. All right? I'm going to stop right here like I said before. You go straight up and down just like that. All right? Then you stop. When you get to around this area, which is where it's along, like the middle side, the middle part, when you get along this area, you're going to stop doing the tracks like that. What you'll do is you'll start laying the invisible part closure. You'll start laying it in that same, like using that same technique, using these small tracks and take them. I always, like, I never cut the wefts before I start sewing. So I always sew, cut, sew, cut, sew, cut. I lay them very close together. All right. Then you go all the way up until you reach about that point. You stop at that point. You do the other side the same exact way. Go all the way up, all the way up, all the way. Stop until you reach that point. That way this part remains flat. And then that way your closure, like the visible part section, is just very, very neat. I'm going to turn this around. All right. So once you do this, and then you lay this way, at that point, and only at that point, will you cut. So I'm pretending that I actually did something right here. You'll cut it, and this will serve as me cutting it. All right, so I'm going to cut the closure. And the best part about it is if you do it right, when you cut it, your wig won't expand like this. It will actually only open up just a little bit because it's so much weight from where you started doing the visible part. So I usually start doing the visible part right along this way and then laying pieces that small all the way up. All right, once you cut it, you can cut as high as you want or as low as you want, doesn't matter. Then you take this small flap. See this small thing right here? This is probably the most important piece of the whole dang on thing on YouTube. This is one part I do not usually see from people. All right, once you cut, and just imagine this is a whole version, a whole invisible part thing. You then take this piece right here and you fold it under. You fold it under. Mind you, this will have invisible part pieces right here. Once you fold this under, it's going to make this a straight edge, and your visible part pieces will serve as like this perfect like border. You sew that right under, and it makes it very, 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 very tight. All right? At that point, once you fold the tracks under, you will be getting the straight edge that I was talking about at first. And you will, I actually attached the combs right here already, but I'll show a picture of what it looks like before you actually attach the combs. And like I said, it will create that straight edge for you, the edges you need. Also remember, I did not do any type of invisible part method right back here because I want to make sure this remains straight, all right? When you are finished, this will be the finished product. You'll be able to put combs in it. You can wear your hair in ponytails. You can wear your hair. It's just very easy. I attached a comb in the middle, a small comb, and 2 large combs on that side, right along the visible part. And then I attached 2 combs on the side, like with the ones that would go by my ear. And I attached 2 combs in the back, right where my nape is. So once you look at it, it should look just like this when you're finished. And if you look very closely, this is exactly how I sew the wefts going straight up and down for the visible part method. And after I sewed them straight up and down, like I said, I folded it directly underneath the visible part to make sure I had that straight edge. And I attached the combs right underneath it. So that way, most importantly, when I'm laying it on my hair, it lays very flat. And look at that. Okay? I want it to lay very flat. If you guys can see on this side right here, I want the edge to be very, very flat. I don't want any type of bumpiness on the sides of my hair. I want to make sure that when you're looking at my hair, there is no type of bump or no one being able to tell exactly what the heck is going into my hair. I don't want anything going on. Okay? Very, very flat. And so I did try this on the mannequin. I posted that on Instagram as well. And that what I didn't show you guys on Instagram, so the mannequin, you can actually, I showed how I could put my hair, or how the hair would be able to be put in a ponytail. It's very, very easy. Like I said, the most important part is after the visible part method is used, you want to take that black flap, the leftover piece, and fold it directly underneath where you had it at, so that way it's very, 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 very close. And then you attach the combs. And that, my dear, is how do you make a U-part wig.